Oh, come on in. Yeah, come on in. And we are thank you for waiting respectfully outside. We are rolling on August 23rd, where the sunshine is shining at UCLA. And we are about to hear about the film experience of Randy. And
Hello,
how
Randy.
it moved him. Hi, Randy.
And today I'll be presenting my speech about Spirited Away. So this is a quote that goes, if you want your audience to grow, you really should betray the expectations. This is a quote from Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli. And I believe Spirited Away is the movie that really betrays expectations. It's about a girl who accidentally goes into the spirit world. Her parents turn into pigs and all this stuff that's very unfortunate to her. But it really just betrays your expectations. So this movie really shows a lot of significant themes, especially about the human greed. And Robert Ebert from Chicago Sun-Times in 2002 really describes this movie as limitless creativity. The exact quote is how the Spirited Away populates limited creativity. And I agree with this 100%. Throughout the movie, there's tons of creativity that made me show many emotions. Specifically, in this movie, it made me feel it really moved me and it made me explain three emotions that I will explain to you guys today. It really made me feel sad, nostalgic, and just, this movie just made me scream. So, the first incident that made me feel sad is how the beginning of the movie, you see Chihiro, the main protagonist, hold like a bouquet of flowers in a car with her parents. And on the note, it says like, goodbye, Chihiro. And it reminds me of how my friend, like really back in the past, like back in middle school, she was like this really close friend, like your ride and die friend. She was the type of like, random walks on the beaches, late night Harry Potter movie marathons, She'd be the one I talked to, But like one day, like all of a sudden I guess her parents like had work in Nevada. And because I guess she had to move, it's really kind of sad because like, all this emotion, like the connections I had with her, like kind of just disappeared really fast. Like we tried to maintain the connection, but it didn't really work. Because of the distance. She was in Nevada and I was in California and all this like Skype and all that stuff. We didn't have time for it, so I felt like very sad that the bond just broke from us. Yeah, but even though that emotion made me feel very sad, it also made me show other emotions. For example, the second emotion that it made me show was like nostalgia. Specifically how in the movie like Chihiro like wanders around while her parents is eating like a spirit stall or whatever, and when she comes back, her parents all of a sudden magically turn into pigs, and like that really felt nostalgic to me because like as a child when I was like in elementary, I was like really one of those kids who like wandered around, like those collars that were made for kids that are like new now, those were made for me actually, because like I used to roam around like crazy. There was like this one time in like this Chinese restaurant, me and my family were eating Chinese food. I saw like these really cool like dragon statues outside the restaurant, I was like, oh, dragons. I'm gonna go like mess around with them and play with them. So because of that, I like secretly like snuck out of my parents' view and like went towards the dragons and like just like played with them, rolled them, and kind of like all that stuff. But unfortunately, like when I came back, my parents were like stuffed for food, and they were so angry at me that they ate my food and all that stuff, and they were just yelling at me. So it really reminded me of that incident in Spirited Away, because of how like her parents turned into pigs and all that stuff, and they're eating food. Even though my parents didn't really turn into pigs, they kind of like remind me of the pigs. So they're like just stuffing the food in their faces and just yelling at me. So yeah, that really reminded me of that. The last incident that reminded me of that actually made me scream it didn't actually make me scream of horror, but like cheerfulness. Because at the end of the movie, Chihiro like has to do like a final test with her parents. It has to be about how like she has to like identify her parents, which turn into pigs, out of like hundreds of other pigs. Like because of that, I was like, oh, it reminded me back of high school graduation. We're like, oh, like you're graduating, and then like you're walking down the aisle, and you got your diploma, like you like final test. Make sure you don't trip along the way. Make sure all that stuff you find just grabbing the diploma to see that you actually graduated. It really reminded me of the cheers I heard from around like my friends, my family, all that stuff. And when I think about Chihiro, she had like two people cheering for her, so it was really kind of sad. So I got to cheer for her. She's like graduating from her job as a bathhouse and finding her parents, you know. So I was like screaming. This was when I was like 10 years old. So I was like, I gotta do something, you know. So now I'm thinking about it. I rewatched it earlier. Like I made me scream. It's like, oh, I gotta cheer her on. So yeah, I cheer her on. Just made me scream like cheerfulness and joy and all that stuff. So in summary, this movie really moved me. It reminded me of 3 specific emotions, which is sadness, nostalgia, and I just screamed, screams of cheerfulness. So hopefully, like my speech, like the quote in the beginning says, hopefully you guys grew and not betrayed expectations. There weren't actually screams of fear that I hope you guys believe or not, but actually screams of cheerfulness and all that stuff. And because of that, I hope that this shows that this movie very moved me. And thank you very much.
Thank you. 513.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
I think his speech is very friendly, and
Very what?
fluent.
Fluent.
He is full of enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm, yeah. Yeah, that helps, doesn't it? Yeah.
So it really impressed the audience.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, enthusiasm is often contagious. Improvement?
I'm Keanu.
Hi, Keanu.
I really like your speech. There's something about your voice that it's just like really gains our attention. Some things that you should watch out for. I think you say like and you know too much. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this speech, Randy. You started with a quote, and you talked about growing your audience. You must betray their expectations. And you chose to do the film Spirited Away. And you told us a little bit about the movie, what it was about, and you quoted Roger Ebert in 2002, and that your SIG statement was done perfectly. Your thesis you returned back to, you kind of got it a little out of order, but that was no big deal. On your first emotion that you were trying to communicate to us was your feeling of sadness. And here it was a girl, right? Or it was a girlfriend or a friend that was a girl that she moved to Nevada. And you were sad, and you tried to Skype with her, and that wasn't working, and so forth. And I did get the feeling that that really came through, and you did return to the emotion, and that's why I felt sad. So that was a good case of felt sensing it, like I want you to learn to do when you're trying to communicate emotions in a speech. On nostalgic, this one was a little trickier because I guess your parents were stuffing themselves when you ran away, and so this reminded you of that, and that's why you felt nostalgic. So I guess that was your situation, right? Yeah, okay. On screaming, I lost the thread of your rationality in this storytelling there. I lost it a little bit, but doesn't mean it wasn't a good story. There was a graduation going on there, and there was some screaming and yelling, and then you decided to scream or yell when you were 10 years old or something. I didn't know how all that fitted together, but somehow we got the idea that you were screaming or cheering. And so I don't know about the emotion of that, but we got that anyway. Your summary was fine. Your conclusion was fine. You needed to tie back to that quote. In order to grow your audience, you must betray their expectations, see? And then come back to that. Your canais, improve my movement, talk clearer and slower, engage the audience more. How did it go?
Hopefully I engaged more. I think I did well on that. moving around. I remember last time I did like small steps and did this.
Yes.
So I tried walking around more.
Okay,
Hopefully I did
that was
that.
better. Yes.
I think I still talk kind of fast. I was like studying a bit and slurring my words.
I'd like to see you work on word economy and do more editing. So cause you were way over. You were a minute and 15 seconds over time, and so you need to work on telling your stories more succinctly. But I agree to end on a positive note. You were enthusiastic, and that's a positive quality to have in a speaker, and so don't lose that, because that can be contagious, and an audience often likes that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that will bring us to Caroline. Hi, Caroline. She's a staple, huh? Okay. Rock and roll, Caroline.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
Hi, Caroline.
The thing about trains, it doesn't matter where they're going. What matters is deciding to get on. Today, I want to share with you a film that really moved me. It made me feel scared, sad, and hopeful. There's some significant themes in the film that I know you'll be interested in. And according to a 2004 movie review by Roger Ebert, he states that the Polar Express is for more than one season. It will become perennial. And it will become perennial. And I agree with that. To begin with, the first incident that made me feel sad, scared was when the Polar Express was going out of control, and the moment that it was about to crash into something, they hit the brakes. And the reason why this incident made me feel scary was it reminded me of my own incident. Here at UCLA, my sophomore year in college, there was a stalker, and he stalked me from the library, and he followed me to the dorms at night. And this happened a couple of times, so I decided to report him to the police. One day while I was sitting at the library, I got a feeling that somebody was staring at me, and I decided to go to the restroom. And I received a text that moment, saying, "I may have followed you to the restroom." And at that moment, I hear the door open, and it was that guy with his hoodie up. And at that moment, I screamed so loud that he ran out, and everybody on the third floor could hear. But even though nothing happened that day, I was so scared and my adrenaline pumped, and all I was thinking was fight or flight. And the second way that this moved me was it made me feel sad. The incident in the film that made me feel sad was when the lonely boy was sitting on the other side of the train in the dark. And the reason why it made me feel sad is because it reminded me of myself. Like many of you who talked about your grandparents, I also have a grandmother who lives in Korea. Every year I would promise her, "Oh, I'm going to Korea this year, I'm going to Korea." But it's already been 4 years since I haven't visited my grandma. And she told me, "Don't worry, get your studies done, that's the most important, and then come." But that's what kills me, knowing that it won't be another year till I get to see her. She wakes up at 4 in the morning every morning to pray for me. I hope I smile today. I hope Caroline digests her food. And it leaves a hole in my heart. And the third way the movie moved me was it made me feel hopeful. The incident in the film that made me feel hopeful was when the hero boy could hear Santa's bell at the end, and only people who believed it could hear it. And that's when this incident reminded me of a moment when I was struggling to get to my goal. I've always been interested in styling and fashion, but when I asked other people if I could pursue a career in it, they told me that it was going to be difficult and that it was going to be hard. So at that moment, I really lost hope. I was like, I'm not going to apply. But my mom told me that if I didn't believe in myself, nobody would believe in me. So that's when I decided to apply to this internship my third year for a men's fashion company. And I got it. So that's when I realized I really did have to just believe in myself. So in summary, I've told you 3 ways the movie moved me. It made me feel scared, sad, and hopeful. And there should be no doubt in this room that this movie really tugged all of my emotions. So just like Herbert says, this film goes beyond one season. It really tells us about ourselves. So the thing about trains, it doesn't matter where they're going, what matters is deciding to get on. And I hope you guys always remember to keep living life, even though we might have hard experiences. Thank you.
Thank you. 4 minutes and 1 second.
Hi, I'm Armand.
Hi, Armand.
So at first I thought like you weren't projecting your voice enough, but then it really contributed to the amount of emotion that was in your speech, because gradually your voice got louder. So awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes you can play with your voice and start softly and build and create contrast with your voice. And in this case, you had to kind of lean in a little to hear her, especially in the early part where she was talking about the thing about trains. It doesn't matter where they're going. What matters is deciding to get on. Almost lean in to hear her say that. So yeah, but she recovered, and it was the voice was effective in conveying the emotions. Yes, sir.
Hi, Will.
Hi, Will.
I don't really know what bad thing to say, to be honest. I also agree. When you first started speaking, I was like, wait, your voice is really quiet. And then I realized I was like 10 times more attentive. And so that was a really good way of getting me engaged. And like you said too, your voice also really fit with the sort of overall tone of the speech, which I really thought was good too. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about it. Great intro, great quote, great tie back to that. So that worked.
I was so nervous. I'm so sorry.
What?
I was so nervous. I'm so sorry.
Well, a little nervousness gets the adrenaline going and makes us active and alert and perky, which is what we want to be when we're speaking. You said scared, sad, and hopeful, which was good. It's Roger Ebert, okay? So, just for future pronunciation's sake. Yeah, and you agreed with it, so that was well done. On the main body, your first emotion of being scared and the stalker following you into the toilet in the Anderson Library was absolutely terrifying. And
It
we
was not the toilet. It was in the front bed.
was a restroom. Oh, is there a difference between the toilet and the restroom? Okay. Oh, you rest in the restroom? Whatever. Okay, he followed you somewhere, and you screamed, and we could all feel your emotion and, fight or flight, and that was really excellent. And so we could really feel your fear. You relived it. It was great felt sensing. And so that was very powerful. That was really a good job. Yeah. On your second emotion, sadness. Yes. Here you talk about your grandmother, who you have not visited in 4 years, and she prays for you every morning at 4 a.m., and you haven't been able to get back to see her, and this makes you sad, and we could feel your sadness. So that was good. That was well done. Just remember to say, and that's why I'm sad. Come back to the emotion. On the third emotion, hopeful. You tell us of your hope, of your dream to be in the fashion and styling industry. Someone put cold water on your dream, and your mother told you all pursuit of happiness. If you believe in yourself, just go for it, so forth. And so you got an internship at a men's fashion company, and so That was good. And what you needed to remember to do is to say, and as an intern, I'm feeling hopeful. I'm in the biz. See? Yeah. Summary was good. Roger E. Bird. And your tie back and conclusion were fine. You wanted to be more extemporaneous, have more eye contact, and speak from the heart. Make the audience feel the emotion. How did it go?
Well, I felt the emotion because I still think I'm like thinking about my grandma right now, so I'm getting a little bit.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys felt it too.
Well, that's the test, see? Because if you're really feeling it and doing the felt sensing, then we will feel it too. That's the test of the authenticity.
I think I still get really nervous. Like you guys are all really nice, but I get so nervous that I still need to work on being extemporaneous because I feel like I'm still like focusing a little bit about like what's my next line rather than trying to make it more natural. So I need to work on that.
Okay. Did a nice job. Thank you very much, Caroline. Okay. That brings us to Keanu. Keanu Reeves. He stands before you, managing attention, communicating respect non-verbally, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name. Feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi everyone, I'm Keanu.
Hi, Keanu.
So many of us are transitioning into adulthood. We're graduating from college, we're finding our first level of employment, but all the while, we're sometimes children at hearts. And so today I'm going to be sharing my favorite animated film called How to Train Your Dragon. It's a movie that made me made me nostalgic of my youth years. It made me happy, and it made me hopeful. And so this film has many themes that I'm sure that all of you will enjoy, including one about finding about yourself and really believing in what you believe in. And so a film critic from the LA Times, Betsy Sharkey, nicely puts the movie as the mythical creatures in the movie soars like just how the movie does. And I couldn't agree more because it's a fantastic on all fronts. And so the first incident in the movie that made me feel nostalgic of my youth years was when Hiccup, the main character, has to go through dragon training. And in the movie, dragons and Vikings are against each other. Dragons want to kill Vikings, Vikings want to kill dragons. And so Hiccup is a very measly, meek little guy who isn't like your typical Viking. And so he goes through dragon training, and all of his friends, or not his friends, his peers, are ridiculing him because he's just not like the other Vikings. But Hiccup soon shows everyone that through crafty and strategic ways that he can defeat dragons by calming them down through non-traditional methods. And so this reminded me of when I was a kid, because in elementary school I didn't have any friends like Hiccup, and during recess was the worst time because I would just roam around the field, not playing any games whatsoever. I would literally just walk around. And so eventually in 3rd grade, my mom had to work a later shift. And so during after school, I had to wait an extra hour, and that's when I learned how to play handball. I became so good at it that I became really strategic on how I hit the ball, that I defeated all my opponents. And that was my ticket to getting friends, and people befriended me. And so that really boosted my confidence, just how Hiccup overcame his weakness. So the second way the movie moved me was that it made me feel happy. So in the movie, Hiccup wants to prove to his dad that he can kill dragons, at least in the beginning of the movie. And so there's this very contentious relationship between him and his dad, want to prove that he can kill dragons as well. And so it made me feel happy because Hiccup in the movie realizes that he doesn't want to kill dragons, that he believes that they're nice creatures. And so this reminded me when I was trying to make my dad proud. And I had notions in high school that I wasn't making my dad proud because I wasn't like the most athletic like he was in high school. And what I also thought didn't make him proud is because like I just like never had a girlfriend, and because I always said, oh well, like I have AP classes, like I don't have time, and he just seemed really disappointed. But then senior year, I finally found myself a girlfriend, and I thought that like made him proud. But then one day, I know it sounds terrible, but then one day I was on YouTube and I was just scrolling through YouTube, and on the recommended column was someone's coming out video. And so I watched the coming out video, and it just took me by surprise. And from thereafter, from 12 a.m. to 6 in the morning, I watched all of his videos. And I remember after looking at the computer screen for 6 hours straight, I went to the bathroom because I really needed to pee. And then I was overcome with emotion because I realized then and there that I needed to stop victimizing myself and appreciate myself for who I was. And that was the moment I realized that like I needed to come out of the closet. So that movie really reflected how I wanted to make my dad proud, but I need to make myself proud first. So the third emotion that I want to talk about is that it made me feel hopeful. In the winter of last year, I had a major knee accident, and I fractured my knee, and I tore all the tendons that connected my knee to my quadricep muscle. And so I couldn't walk at all, similar to how the dragon in the movie broke his wing, and so like the dragon, I didn't have any mobility. But his friend, the dragon's friend, Hiccup, really gave him the moral support and made him a makeshift wing. And just how like my friends gave me hope that I would get better one day, and that they really pushed me to do my rehabilitation exercises to get better. And 3 months later, after my surgery, I learned how to walk again. And I couldn't forget the moment where I was in my living room laughing because I was moving around, and for some reason, walking was my new favorite thing. So, yeah, it's crazy. So this movie, in summary, made me feel nostalgic of my youth years. It made me feel happy, and it made me hopeful in a time of doubt and sadness. There should be no doubt in this room that this movie really resonated with me on a personal level, and I hope all of you guys really see that. Thank you.
541. Okay, we're over here.
Hi, I'm Emily.
Hi, Emily.
So, I feel like you're a very clear speaker. So, like everything you say, like I can like completely understand you. There's like a very like organized train of thought. And then I also noticed that I really liked your like word choice. I like how you're like measly, meek, and crafty. I don't know. I just noticed that as well. I feel like you can spend a little bit more time like during parts where you like express your emotions. Like, oh, like I just need to make myself proud. I think you kind of rush through it. You speak very fast, so I think that you could like pause a little bit on moments like this to like let everyone settle and then like hear that. But overall, I thought it was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Improvement?
I really like your speech too, but one improvement you can do, sometimes as you finish a statement, you do listen and you look down really quick. So I feel like you're like, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. You need to, Keanu, do the time. And the big thing, if when you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, is you're going to see that you spend an enormous amount of time on this plot summary that no one cares about. How to Train Your Dragon. We've all seen the movie. We know what happened. And you just needed, and let me tell you, for the rest of you doing your speeches that still have to go, you only need, I said, one sentence, maybe two, and then get on to your story of what it reminds you of in your life. One sentence or two for the plot summary. You were giving paragraphs and intricate plot twists, and we're after your emotions, right? Okay, back to reality. Your intro. you started off with a very provocative idea, which is to say that we're all children at heart, and this was your way of justifying, and I don't think you need to justify doing a children's video. These have adult themes. They're great. All the Disney, all the Beauty and the Beast, etc. They all have themes that resonate for all ages. So you didn't need to do that, but you did. You said you felt nostalgic, happy, and hopeful were the three emotions that you were going to communicate, right? Your sixth statement was perfect. You then had a B where you were going to give a synopsis here, which fortunately you skipped. You didn't need it, right? Okay. Then you went into the main body, and we again got a long plot summary. And then you told us, finally, you revealed to us that you were a nerd, you had no friends, and then you walked around all the time on the recess grounds because you had no one to play with or weren't invited into any games. And then you finally got good at handball, was it? Handball? Yeah. And you got some fame and friends, and this reminded you of that, and that's why you felt nostalgic. You needed to return to that emotion, saying, that's why I felt nostalgic. Return and focus on that emotion you're reliving and communicating. See, it's called felt sensing. Secondly, it's going to help you, Keanu, if you will move 3 times and not just stand stationary where you are, okay? That will help relax you and relax your body a little bit. Okay. Unhappy. This is, you buried your best story in the middle. And your dad wanted to know why you didn't have a girlfriend. And finally you dug one up, as you put it, and or something like that. And I got one or something, or how'd you put it?
I said found myself.
I found one. I found one down an alley. I found one. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, okay, you found one. Okay, that was good. It's good you found one.
We're friends now, so it's fine.
Okay, that's good, yeah. But the important part of this was that you told us about watching coming out videos and that this made you feel happy because you felt that they were talking to your genuine self. And I appreciate you having the courage to share that with us. And that was very good. But I would have just again returned to, and that's why I felt happy. Okay? On hopeful. Again, we had plot summary. And then you told us about breaking your parts of your knee and so on and so forth, and then recovering, and your friends sort of helped you, nursed you back to health. And again, I didn't get why you were hopeful that your friends nursed you back to health, but I would have liked to have seen that emotion come out more as hopeful. Summary was fine, conclusion was fine, and tieback was okay. Your goal, be more extemporaneous, less rehearsed, move around the room more, and evoke more emotions. How'd it go?
I think I was definitely more extemporaneous, but I think that cost me a little because I was definitely more nervous this time around.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't move around the room, so I didn't do that. And I think I evoked more emotion than the first speech, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done still.
Yeah, and if you just focus on the emotion and reliving it and refeeling it, I think as this young lady did here, that you will get a feeling for how powerful it can be as a technique. And one of the ones that we're using in our sticky to make our speeches more sticky is one of those elements are to make an emotional connection with our audience. And we've seen today how powerful emotional connection can be, right? So thank you. Let's see. I guess we're out of time, or do we? I know we have 3 makeups, but well, who are the 3 makeups? 2 makeups. 1, 2. Are you ready? I'm willing to stay and do them, if it's, provided there's no class, or you can come over to my lab and do them in Rolf Hall. So whatever you want to do. Can you do them now? Okay. What about, I'm just talking to you, who are the other 2? Now? And who's the 3rd one?
Professor, I'm B, so do I just go next week?
How'd I skip you? What's your name?
William Wayne.
Oh, because you're not on the roll sheet.
I'm on again. I re-enrolled, so.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Oh, you were the one that the
Yeah.
finances or something. Yeah. Okay, what's your first name?
William.
Okay, and you're a B. Okay, since you legitimately were supposed to go today, we'll take you first before we hear the C's.
So right now? Thursday.
No, Thursday. Unless you want to stay now and do it, you can do that too.
I'll do it.
Okay, good. Okay, who's the 3rd person? I saw 2. Who's the 3rd person? There were 3 people that didn't do theirs. They said they weren't ready. What?
I think I'm on the wrong list with the letter A, but on the wrong list is B. So I think maybe someone who dropped the class and change the letter. No.
And is there anybody else that was an A that didn't go? What? You're an A?
No, we only have 2 for me.
There was only 2 A's that didn't go? Okay. You're a B, right?
Yes, but on this wrong list.
What?
I think on the list you just put the hand to class and so maybe someone who dropped and
Where are you on here? Here, come and show me. Okay, I got to give you the final. Yes.
Oh, fine.
No, I'm not giving it to you today. I only have 15 copies. It wouldn't be fair. I'll give it to you Thursday.
Thank you.
So show me where you are. Grace, B.
I really felt it.
What? So you're supposed to go before. So you're trying to sneak out.
Thank you, Professor.
You're being sneaky. You're welcome. Yeah, you're bad. I bad. What are you, from the ghetto? I bad. Yeah, I bad. Okay. So when are you gonna do it? Well, we have time. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
How you doing? Oh, I was wondering if you brought the grades this time.
I didn't, but I'll bring them Thursday.
Okay.
I promise.
Alright, awesome.
I recorded them and I printed it out. I just didn't bring them over here.
That's no issue.
Sorry about that.
Thanks.
If you're really burning to know, you can come to my office.
Thanks. We'll see you on Thursday.
Okay. Grades. Yeah, I'll write myself a note. Yeah, grades. Okay. Great. Is there somebody trying to come in here? Is there another class? Can you speak? No? Okay. Well, we'll start here. We'll just stay here, huh? Yeah?
Okay.
That's, and if someone kicks us out, we'll go over to my lab. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, hang on a minute. Okay, you're not in the power stance. Grace stands before you, managing attention, communicating respect non-verbally. Excuse me, this is not Grace, this is Emma. Don't call me Grace. Saved by Grace. Finding friendly eyes near the front and center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hello everyone, I'm Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Today I'm going to give you a speech about one of my favorite films. The name of the film is Begin Again. So first I will begin with a quote from the film that is, "You've got to travel over a lot more string to get the pearls." The quote reviews the theme of the film and I totally agree with it. So now I'm going to share with you this film that really moved me. It made me nostalgic, it made me sorrowful, and it also made me feel warm. Begin Again deals with some significant themes that I know you will be interested in. It is a soul-stirring comedy about what happens when lost souls, Dan and Greta, meet and make beautiful music together. There is a review of the film that I found in Rotten Tomatoes. The critic, Alyssa, posted the review on April 13th this year. It says, "It's clearly an awesome work that comes from love shared by people who enjoyed making it." And I couldn't agree more with it because I believe it is a film full of love. The love for families and friends, the love for music, the love for dreams, and also the love for life. What's more, the songs in the film are really excellent and moving. So now it moves to 3 emotions. The first way this film made me, this film moved me was that it made me nostalgic. The incident that in the film that made me feel nostalgic was when Dan and Greta were recording their album. They felt totally free with no restrictions. They just wanted to produce their own music. They recorded the songs everywhere in the city, on the top of the Empire State Building, in the subway, or on the bridge. Just everywhere was okay, and they didn't quit whatever happened. The reason this incident made me feel nostalgic was that when I was still a child, 9 or 10 years old, I also had a music dream, and I had a partner who shared the same dream with me. We hadn't get any professional instructions or training, we just loved singing, and we also recorded several songs produced by ourselves. However, as we grew older, we had more work to deal with, and we finally gave up the dream. So this film just made me recall of those glory days when we were insistently chasing after what we call dream. The second way this film moved me was that it made me sorrowful. The incident in the film that made me feel sorrowful was when Dan felt totally disappointed and hopeless of his life, and he said, "I'm gonna have a little talk with God, but what if he doesn't answer?" These words really made me sorrowful because I knew how desperate a person could be to say like this. This incident reminded me of the day when my grandma passed away, which might be the most sorrowful day I had experienced ever since. I still remember when the doctor was carrying on the last operation on my grandma. I was waiting outside in the operating room. I talked with the God like Dan, and I begged his help for my grandma. But he just didn't answer me, and my grandma just passed away. So I could feel that sorrow very well. Sometimes we have to talk with God because there's just nothing more we can do. The third way this film moved me was that it made me feel warm. The incident that made me feel warm was when Dan remarried his wife and reunited with his families. They once misunderstood each other, but they finally chose to be tolerant. The reason this incident made me feel warm was that it reminded me of my childhood. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, my mom and dad didn't work in the same place. And because of the long distance, I often heard them quarrel on the phone. I felt very bad those days. Then about a year later, my dad came back to work and we reunited, and everything just began to become beautiful. No more argument, just happiness. So in summary, I have shared with you 3 ways that this movie moved me. It made me nostalgic because of the pure music dream. It made me feel sorrowful because of the hopeless pray to God, and it also made me feel warm because of the reunion with the families. There should be no doubt in this room that this film, Begin Again, really moved me. So finally, tie back to the quote that I mentioned in the beginning. You've got to travel over a long stream to get the pearls. Before success, everybody has to go through some bad, boring, or painful days. So don't be afraid of this. As long as we insist on our dreams, faith, and love, we could finally get the pearls. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. 427. Stay in the power stance. Okay, what did you like?
I like your influence.
Say your name.
Oh, hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Yeah, I really appreciate your influence, your speech. Yeah, and
Your what?
your influence.
Your influence?
Influence. Is that right? Influence. Influence.
Fluent.
Oh, fluency.
Fluency.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, and
Fluency, yeah.
and your story is really moved me. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Improvement?
I really like the speech. I feel the connection emotionally, and I almost cry at the grandma part. And maybe next time make it more clear about how this film moved you, make it more structured. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the big problem. Okay, good. You hit it nail on the head. Emma, love this movie. Love the thought of beginning again, and the pearls, and you came tied back to that nicely, and the string, so that worked nicely. You chose 3 emotions that you were going to communicate to us: nostalgic, sorrowful, and warm. Right? Right. You chose to go for Rotten Tomatoes. Now, did you get that from the deep internet or from Google?
Google.
Yeah, you should go deep internet
Not
next
fashion.
time. Yeah, but the quote was okay, you know. So you got that done, so that was good. Main body, nostalgic. You described how they recorded around, and then you described when you were 9 or 10, you sang your heart out with a friend, and you on and made some recordings, and then you slowly lost it and drifted away, and you gave up the dream. What you called the dream. What you didn't do is return to that word nostalgic. And that's why I felt nostalgic. So return to that feeling that you're communicating. Keep in mind the feeling you're feeling and remembering it. It's the same with the second one. Sorrowful. I'm going to have a talk with God. This was your best one because of the nature of it. No one likes to lose their grandmother. I know I was very close with mine. And you decided to, like Dan, have a little talk with God, but it didn't do any good, right? She died anyway. What you didn't do was to say, and when she died, I felt sorrowful. I cried. I felt awful. I felt lonely. I looked at her body. There was no life left there. I didn't know what to say or do. I was so young. I didn't know how to deal with death. That's why I felt sorrowful. See? Relive it, refeel it, remember it. On your 3rd emotion, warm, your parents used to argue because they lived in different places and they argued on the telephone. And then you said your dad came back to work and everything was beautiful. No more arguments, just happiness is how you ended that section. That's not your feelings. You're just describing the scene. And when he came back, I felt warm. I felt the love between them. I felt good. I felt warm. See? That's felt sensing. Summary, good. Conclusion, good. Tie back, very good. Canise. I hope I can have more facial expression. Do not forget my words. And that I could accomplish my speech smoothly. How'd it go?
I think I didn't forget my words, and I did it quite smoothly, but maybe I still do not have many facial expressions.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about those one at a time. What do you, let me get a close-up of your face. Yeah.
I'm quite nervous, so.
That's good. There we go, good. Okay, yeah. What's your self-diagnosis of your face? That it's like a mask, that you don't show emotions with your face?
Sometimes I think I'm quite
stoic.
Yeah. Maybe.
Stoic, yeah. So what can you do about that?
See my face in the mirror and smile. I
Yeah.
need to practice more.
Yeah. The first thing, you're right, is to smile. You can practice talking with your eyes non-verbally, let your eyes express things. Let your there's whole books on nonverbal communication, of reading facial communication. But for some reason, I don't know if it was your parents or your culture or whatever, but I agree with you. You are pretty stoic. You're pretty, you don't show a lot. And it would be better if you showed more. So that would be good. Yeah. So the second thing, about forgetting your words, yeah. What I would say, Emma, is be careful you don't memorize, but you keep it extemporaneous. You still grab for words. You're not saying it word for word, sentence for sentence, that when you rehearse it, you'll say it differently each time, but that'll be better. Okay? And you were fluent, so it was smooth. So you did a good job. The big problem I saw, you got the whole basic thing down, was just expressing more of the emotion, which was the crux of the assignment, okay? Okay, thank you. Okay, next. Hi. This is Lynn, and you need to stay. She's leaving you, Lynn. It's okay. When you gotta go, right?
Hi, I'm Lee.
Wait, Lynn, I'm not ready, Lynn. You're not even focused on the camera. Okay, Lynn stands before you in the power stance. Wider, 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 wider. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because you're a tripod. See, you can't sway when your feet are wide. You got firm stance. See, managing attention. She's writing, communicating respect non-verbally, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name. Feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, I'm Lee.
Hi, Lynn.
Shirley has a poem called Live Not the Painted Veil Which Those Who Live. then an English writer mom took The Painted Veil as a book title. In the book, one of the themes is that those look nice in life, like the relationships and the facts, are actually unreal. Today, I want to introduce a film that really moved me, The Painted Veil, which is adapted by the book. It made me admit and forgive the fragility of human nature. It made me cry and it inspired me. In the film, a woman called Kitty marries Dr. Walter, a man she doesn't love. Then she commits adultery. Walter takes her to countryside where there's a cholera outbreak to punish her. Brushing with death, they get closer to each other. The first way this film moved me was that it made me admit and forgive the fragility of human nature. It's the last part of the film. Kitty finds herself pregnant and she doesn't know who's the father. Never thought being forgiven. But Walter says it doesn't matter now. It reminds me of being isolated with no reason in junior middle school for about several months. The isolation was started by a bad girl, and my roommates followed because they were afraid of her. I was in huge agony those days. My roommates apologized to me afterwards, and I told them that's all right. But in my heart, I always reminded myself of what they've done to me. So when I heard Walter say it doesn't matter now, and I saw his sincere, tears hovering in my eyes, I know all the time that they were too young and they were not meant to, but until I see the movie, I let my sorrow and hate go. We are all fragile and easy to make mistakes. To those who did something bad, if they deserve forgiveness, I will try. The second way this film moved me was that it showed me unselfish devotion and it made me cry. The incidents in the film moved me was that Walter works hard to find the resolution, takes care of patients regardless of danger, finally died of cholera. It reminds me of a calculus teacher. He's the most popular professor in the university, and every student knows him. He's also a celebrity on Weibo, Chinese Twitter. Among 50 messages he sent one day, 49 are reposted from students who ask help with math problems. In fact, he has eye disease. Sending so much messages is really bad. But he says, students ask me for help because of trust. I can feel them. The third way this film moved me was that it inspired me to cherish life. The incident in the film that moved me was when people died so surprisingly, so weakly. It reminds me of a relative. Long time ago, he has a terrible setback and committed suicide. He didn't die, but he did hurt himself. He was lame, low-backed, and couldn't talk ever. How does he regret? I don't know, but every time I see him, I feel pity. He could have a happy life. It pushes me to cherish life, and no matter how tough the trouble is, never give up. In summary, I have shown you 3 ways that this film moved me. It made me admit and forgive the fragility of human nature. It made me cry and it inspired me. The Painted Veil is a sad story, but still gives audience hope. Hope, cherishing, devotion, and forgiveness. I have to say thank you to this film. And there should be no doubt in this room that this film, The Painted Veil, really moved me. In fact, in the book, the ending is much more heartbreaking than the movie. I believe the filmmakers rearranged the story to convey that although those look nice in life, like relationships and the facts, are actually unreal, keep on pursuing bright life. Thank you.
Thank you. Four 17. What'd you like?
I think you.
Name?
Hi, I'm Grace.
Hi, Grace.
I think you tell your story by details, and your story really feels and you did express your emotions very well. And I want to see the improvements.
Okay, say improvements too.
Yeah, I think maybe you were a little bit nervous that you forget to move several times.
Yeah, you stood right there. Improvement?
Hello, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
I think I'm not don't disagree. I disagree with the use the grace that I think you should be more emotional.
Yeah. Okay. See how you're holding your hands? The way, put them together the way you were holding them. That's the way you held them the whole speech. So you want to relax your hands. Come on in. Tell her she can come in. So you want to relax your hands and let them be out here and gesture and move, okay? Because what you're doing is you're pinching yourself and reassuring yourself like this, and that shows some nervousness. Yeah. Okay, Lynn, let's talk about this. Shelley has a poem, and you chose a film, The Painted Veil, from a book by William Somerset Maugham. I don't know if you've read any of his stuff, but he's a really good writer. Have you read any of his stuff?
I didn't read the book, but I just watched the film.
What?
I just watched the film.
You didn't read the book? Yeah. He's you should pick up his novels. One called The Razor's Edge, and one called Of Human Bondage. Another one called Rain. But very good writer. Anyway, so you chose to quote Shelley, "Lift not the painted veil, which those who live," right? And so I was looking for the painted veil in the end as a tieback. That quote. Okay.
Actually, I think it's the later one.
You quoted something else that you tied back to.
That when those look nice in life.
Not nice in life, yeah. But I'm suggesting you tie back to the quote. Okay? Yeah. So your thesis was, and this was what got me worried to start with, you said, "It made me admit and forgive the frailty of human nature." That's a pretty complicated emotion. Was your emotion to forgive? Can we just say forgive? Forgive, okay. Yes. Okay. Cry and be inspired, right? Those were the three. Yeah. So the first one was real confusing. You said, "It made me admit and forgive the frailty of human nature." You talked about somebody being pregnant and Walter saying it doesn't matter anymore. And then you started to talk about when you were in middle school, people isolated you, right? For no reason in junior high by a bad girl, and the roommates followed because they were afraid of her. You said, "I was in huge agony," okay? I was in huge agony. My roommates apologized to me afterwards, and you said, "That's all right." But in my heart, I always reminded myself of what they have done to me. So you really didn't forgive them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you said this film made me forgive and forget, I didn't really feel that you communicated that so clearly with your story. It was confusing. I was confused. On your second one, you talked about crying. Now, this one was a little more clear. I cried, you said. And cholera, and you said that there was a calculus teacher who sent 50 messages a day. But he had bad eyesight. And you said, students ask me for help because of trust. I can't fail them. And that's how you ended it. And where is Lynn's emotion? Where is Lynn crying over the calculus teacher?
I cried because of the film. And the character's Walter's behavior just reminded me of this calculus teacher.
I know, but you didn't say that, and you didn't communicate that, and you didn't tell us that you were crying over the calculus teacher. You didn't say that. You didn't say, and I cried. So we didn't get a parallel situation there. So then the third one on your emotion, you said it inspired me to cherish life, right? Yeah. And here you talk about a relative, a sad story. Was it a male, a female? Was it a male? Male? Uh-huh. And he tried to commit suicide, but he wasn't successful. And he hurt himself. He's lame. He's bow-backed, whatever that means. And he doesn't talk. And so when you look at him, you said it pushes me to cherish life, right? So that was as close we got to an emotion that you cherish life. So I wanted you to end on that. That's why I cherish life when I see somebody that didn't. Okay? So your summary was okay, your conclusion, okay, and your tie back, I would have liked to have seen it more tied to the quote rather than what you tie back to there. Let's talk about your kanai. Speak and behave naturally. More speaking, don't recite. Focus on the speech because I'm easily disturbed by the environment. Okay? How'd it go?
I'm too thirsty today. So
You're what?
like, too thirsty.
You're thirsty.
Yeah, no, I can't speak.
Oh, you need to bring water to class then. Yeah, bring a little bottle of water and drink it before you go up to speak. That will help, okay? Mm-hmm. And did you feel you were natural, except see the way you hold your hands?
Nervous.
Yeah, so let your hands go, be beside your side. How are you disturbed by the environment? What does that mean?
When I do a speech, if somebody just smile at me, I will be disturbing.
You're upset.
Yeah.
That sets you off, yeah. You need to work on that and just get on with it and not be freaked out by people's emotion. Can you move 3 times? Do you know how to walk?
No.
You know, the first way the film moved me, the second way the film moved me, the third way the film moved me back to center. Okay, well, you got the job done. I just say there was just a little confusing in some of your emotions that you communicated, but you chose a great film from a good writer, and so that was good. And watch your hands and your gestures and do more of expressing your feelings and reliving them. Okay? Thank you. Is that it? Anybody else? That's it. Yeah, excellent. Bye. Thanks for staying and listening. That was nice of you. Thank you for staying and listening.
I have to say that thanks for yours staying here and listening to
Well, it's my pleasure. Happy to do it. Next time, be ready, like this girl wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, be ready.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye. Yeah, but only if we have time. Yeah, if we have time. Yeah. This guy trying to get in this classroom. I don't know what his problem is. Keeps staring at me. Who's this guy out there? I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you for giving me another chance.
What?
Thank you for giving me